Back on September 30th, there was a shooting here in Springfield at a juvenile facility that is a detention facility, and Springfield Police showing up on the scene of a hostage situation with an individual inside who had a firearm, and police arrived and shot the suspect, ultimately leading to that individual dying of his injuries. Now, state police are furthering the investigation here. We still don't know exactly what happened and as far as how this suspect got a firearm in that facility, but clearly there's some ongoing questions about all of this. And if you watch the channel regularly, you've seen me do the Council Corral, which is an adaptation of the Council Roundup I used to do on terrestrial radio with WMAY here locally. But here with the audience, I figured I'd continue on with the Council Corral because it's a valuable product for people to understand how city government works. Well, the most recent city council meeting, you had citizens address the committee, the council, which is a regular occurrence. But James Johnson, who's a local activist, he was there to raise concern about how little we know about what happened on September 30th at that juvenile facility here in Sangamon County that led to a police-involved shooting. A fatal police-involved shooting. So we still haven't really heard or seen what happened there. And the investigation that Illinois State Police are conducting has not yet been released. And that's something that James Johnson wanted to make sure that was top of mind for people as they continue to think about what happened.
And that's the state police investigations. Now there's two going on. And the one with the shelter, I'm going to piggyback on that and state that that is very important that we hear about that investigation. Since we are opening up the shelter next month, one of the big questions is, and this is for the county and ISP, we want to know about that investigation. We want to know how that gun got in that building. And we are expecting some heads to roll because of it. Now, of course, we don't know who it was, but it doesn't matter. Black, white, male, female. Something bad happened there, and we want to know why it happened so it never happens again.
So that's citizen James Johnson in Springfield talking to the Springfield City Council on Tuesday night, saying that they want more information about this. He continues on a little bit later, we'll hear, but last night we got more information on this from Springfield Police. Chief Scarlett, the chief of police for Springfield, providing a narrative of what happened, and we'll show some of this. I'm not going to show all of it in its entirety because it's I mean, even though they had it blurred out and whatnot, because they sent it to a production company, which is interesting. It's not the raw video footage. It's a combination of surveillance footage, 911 calls, police body cam footage as well. So it's a combination of all this edited together in a narrative. Well done, obviously, if you send it to a production company, but they, instead of releasing all the raw footage, they just released a narrative, a 6-minute narrative of sorts. So here's some of that from Springfield Police.
Hello, I'm Ken Scarlett, Chief of Police for the Springfield, Illinois Police Department. The purpose of this video is to provide available video surveillance footage, officer body-worn camera footage, and 911 tapes pertaining to an officer-involved shooting. The shooting took place on September 30th around 7:45 p.m. at the Sangamon County Juvenile Detention Center, as an armed individual who had taken a female hostage was attempting to escape the secured facility. Additionally, the same individual had fired at multiple victims inside the center just prior to officers' arrival. Our agency remains committed to transparency, as the intention of releasing this narrated video is to provide greater insight into the active shooting within the center, as well as the heroic actions of the responding officers.
He then goes on to talk about just how this all came together and how it's going to be difficult for some to watch, and we'll just hear some more of this. 911 calls.
This is Sangamon County Juvenile Center. Oh my goodness.
What's going on?
We have a kid that has a gun and he's shooting inside of oh my God, we need somebody here now, please.
He's inside shooting?
Yes, he's inside. Somehow he's got a gun.
He has a
He's black.
hostage?
He has a hostage with him.
Where did you last see him at?
He's by the control room. He has a gun. He was holding.
Did he shoot me once?
I think he did. Yes.
You
please,
think he did?
Please.
Who's he holding hostage?
One of the other residents, a female, and he just shot through the window at me.
Okay, so he's holding a female resident hostage.
He's got a female resident hostage. He just blew a window right next to me when I was trying to get into another room with another resident. We need as many units as you got.
Okay.
So clearly, it goes on from there to further show some of the dispatch communications that we're going through about where the location was and so on, and then it goes on to highlight the actual body cam footage of when they arrive. And again, I'm not going to necessarily show all of this because you'll be able to find it on my Twitter page here in short order in its entirety that you can watch in high def. But it goes on to show them getting to the scene, arriving, and quickly going into action. And narration by Ken Scarlett.
Watch what you see. Tell me what you see.
The veteran officer immediately retrieves his department-issued rifle from the trunk area as the officer in training takes up a position just behind him. The two quickly developed a plan of action and began to approach the front entry doors of the facility when they observed the front door swing wide open. The veteran officer observed the suspect armed with a handgun and the hostage. Please keep in mind, this portion of the video is difficult to watch.
And I'm actually going to turn away from it just while it plays out here because the suspect ends up coming out. He's got the hostage. Shots are fired by police, and the weapon is then dislodged, and it's up in a corner inside a lobby area. But again, I'm not going to show the entirety of this because it's, kind of graphic. But more of the narration from Scarlett.
Also at this time, the hostage is taken away to safety by the officer in training.
So let's hear it. And the screams as the hostage is taken by police, pretty incredible. But you do have the suspect that was moving around at that time with his hands up. And again, you can watch this in its entirety. It's jarring. There's no question about it. Even just the audio in the background is pretty jarring. But ultimately, you do have the suspect that was on the ground, hands up. The hostage was taken to a police vehicle away from the scene. And then officers on the scene, they began to provide medical attention.
Until medical professionals arrived. The suspect was rushed to a nearby Level 1 Trauma Center, HSHS St. John's Hospital, where he would succumb to his injuries. The hostage received superficial injuries from shrapnel, and she was treated and released from a local hospital. While the death is tragic, the instantaneous, organized response, which was carried out exactly how the officers were trained, clearly prevented additional loss of life.
So,
officers recovered a Garson 9mm handgun from the foyer area that the suspect had in his possession throughout the entire incident. In accordance with the Springfield Police Department general orders, both initial responding officers have been placed on restricted duty assignment pending the complete and thorough investigation, which is handled by the Illinois State Police. All relevant material pertaining to this case has been forwarded to the Sangamon County State's Attorney's Office. Law enforcement is a dangerous profession that oftentimes requires split-second decision-making. It is this decision-making that can oftentimes be the difference maker as it pertains to active shooting incidents. I commend the professionalism of all responding officers and am grateful this terrible incident was brought to a swift resolution.
So again, Springfield Police releasing that video last night, and this again happened September 30th. There were questions about what the investigation is looking like, Illinois State Police handling that investigation, but the big questions are, why was there a gun in that juvenile facility? So that juvenile facility has been shut down since, and I believe that the county is getting ready to transition that facility into some kind of shelter for adults. And James Johnson, back to Tuesday's Springfield City Council meeting, wanted answers not just about the state police investigation and who had the gun and how it got in there and are people going to be held accountable for that, but also what's going to happen for the juvenile detention facility in general.
The other question is, where's our children going to go? If all the adults are going there, where's our children going to go from here? Mayor, I haven't heard, so I'm going to leave it up to you and the county to give the citizens of this community an answer to both of those questions, where they're going and what happened.
So we'll clearly update us on whenever the Illinois State Police release their investigation of this, because it is kind of fascinating. I want to know myself, where's the firearm come from and how did it get into the building? So that is just a quick review of the latest out of Springfield Police Department. It's a pretty wild story, and I will have that video in its entirety posted on my Twitter handle. Just search Bishop on Air. Like, subscribe, follow along, Bishop on Air, anywhere. All right, just search it out and let's connect that way. We'll talk briefly about vehicles and electric vehicle. Is it going to be a mandate or should we have some choice? Stay tuned.